Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done and what I'm working on and what is coming up. So this week, I painted a grand total of 2 models. It was a pretty slow week for me. I've had a lot going on. This has been just a busier than normal start to the year, kicking off all kinds of stuff, working on coldest night of the year, did some miniature building, and also the weather's been all kinds of crazy up and down, and the kids are having PD days and stuff too. So I got a lot of content film, but it just didn't get a lot of time to actually sit and paint and do stuff for myself. And that means that mostly I just painted some dwarves. I've painted some psycho styrene dwarves from the mid 80s for some games with Chris Salmon this beginning of the week, which you'll see coming up relatively soon. And I got some stuff built for my Slaves to Darkness New Year, New Army. I'm trying to get 1,000 points done. Nick is coming back with his Night Haunts, and I want to try and kick off a series where I'm doing my new army as a bunch of like linked games and stuff too. So I'm trying to get 1,000 points done based on the new battle box with some other stuff thrown in. And yeah, we'll get some games filmed with it. But I'm pretty jazzed. If you didn't hang out with me on Wednesday, I'm going to start a new series, just like build hobby hangout stuff. Probably Wednesdays around noon, called just Work in Progress Wednesday. It'll be live stream, so tune in 12-ish, like around noon Eastern Standard Time, and I should be online working on something. Don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be totally freeform, just hanging out, chatting. People have been asking for a piece of Ash to come back for a long time, and I think that the podcast is helping to kind of like fill that void, but also just being interactive with people. It's fun. I like it. I don't get to chat very often, so just having some interactive time I think is good and makes me feel more connected to you guys. So we're going to do that too. And also it's cold right now in the studio, and in the summer it'll be too hot in the studio. So doing like my short days on Thursdays right now, or on Wednesdays right now, it'll be something that I can sit and hobby in relative comfort as well, doing it from home. So let's take a look at what I've done and what is coming up. So on the right here are my 2 psycho styrene dwarves that I painted for some games of Warcraft 3 Blood Dragon with Chris against his Lizardman. The dwarves went to Lustria, and over here I just wanted to compare them. These are the 5th edition. These came out later, Dwarf Plastic Clansmen, and what a difference! Like these, for their time, these are pretty incredible. They have the same body, but then you had your choice of heads and weapon toppers, and then they all had the same shield. And so the shield came unattached. I painted them separately and added it afterwards. But tons of character in the face. The fact that you can have hammers or axes is really, really nice. And you can kind of just like mix and match them. So like I could do another swap of these heads and swap of the weapons and have 4 different ones basically. And I painted them up in Bam and Barrel Forge little Thrawn colors there. Man, they are just really nice models. Like considering that they are the initial like offering of fantasy miniatures in plastic from Workshop, they're really, really cool. Like it's hard to even imagine what was going to happen later on with plastic development for Workshop and where we are now with just like the range of plastic models and stuff. But these hold up really well after I painted them. I was actually really surprised because I wasn't sure. They're in like a white plastic. Like very stark white plastic, and I wasn't even sure when I primed them how nice they're going to be when I painted them up, but I wanted to paint them for like historical reasons, and I'm really happy with them. Like they look great. They hold up better alongside the metal dwarves, I think, than these 5th edition Clansmen do. So I'm super jazzed. It was a nice relaxing evening of just doing some painting because I'm just so busy with other stuff right now. I got a bunch of pans in the fire that I'm just happy with how they turned out, and I need to paint my shields for these guys. I actually found some plastic shields finally to put on them, which is nice because it means that I'll have four dwarf clansmen in plastic with axes and shields. This little throng is getting relatively big, and maybe we can play some 5th edition or 3rd edition Warhammer or something with it. Not really following the army rules because the army rules want you to have like 40 or 50 miniatures in your regiments, but maybe give it a try once I get some more stuff painted. And in that vein, here's some coming up stuff. My brother from another mother, Christian Stewart, found me a complete set of Bugman's Rangers, minus the incredibly hard to find musician. He subbed in a separate musician, a Clans musician for them. But what a cool Christmas present. It's a complete set, everything from the man of legends Joe Bugman himself through to probably my favorite champion miniature of all time, this guy Pegleg, with his eye patch and stuff. He's just a gorgeous champion miniature. And then enough for a 10-man unit. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It's actually going to be 14 with everybody when it's all said and done. And I love these models. If you look at them, they have crossbows, they have great axes, they actually have a spot for shields too, so I need to put some shields on them. There's just, they're fantastic, sort of like classic metal dwarf miniatures
from 5th edition. So they're part of the Thorgrim Brudgebearer 5th edition Ranger model. And that means I got some Rangers for my army too, which means I've pretty much one of every metal unit for my dwarves. And when I get these painted, I'll have a pretty significant presence of Rangers to go with all the other stuff I have too. And then over here, Chris actually, and also my buddy Ben, you see me play Malphone with him all the time, found some more miniatures for my Empire army so I can replace my plastic 7th edition swordsman that give me shame. Here's some regular Empire swordsmen, like a champion model, a couple of little Empire dudes in here. Chris found some spears actually to go in as well, some Empire spearmen, some classic ones. And then a metal handgun, some command miniatures, including a musician, which will be nice, a foot Reichsguard knight, and then even this incredibly old flagellant, who is just awesome. What a fabulous miniature. I'm stoked to paint him. I haven't seen him in forever. And Chris, I think, had him in a warband from Mordheim at one point, and you can see he's got Chris's old paint job on him still, all chipped up, but he threw him in the box of stuff. So I'm super jazzed about this, and then also this baggie of shields, which is going to be super handy, because having just regular round shields for my beastmen and for these dwarves as well is something that I need. And then what else we got coming up? Well, I built my first 3 Chaos Warriors. Going through the Start Collecting box for the new Slaves to Darkness, I'm basically pulling out the models that I can give extra hand weapons to, because I want to have a 15-man unit of double hand weapon guys. So I'm mixing and matching the old double hand weapons from the old Chaos Warrior frame in with the new plastics, and they look great. I should have enough when I combine the ones that don't have shields like embossed in their bodies with my current collection of plastic Chaos Warriors to make a full 15-man unit. And then I'll have a unit of Chaos Knights, unit of Old Chaos Knights, Mr. Karkadrak here, probably a Gorby's Chariot and a Sorcerer for my first 1,000 points. And I get to get painting, get it all assembled, get it all based up, and then get painting. And I got some new stuff for Infinity. Painting up my Heal Up Militia and my Libertos Freedom Fighter for my Varuna army, which I love my Varuna army, actually. It's one of my most recent armies after I painted my whatchamacallit, JSA, and I'm stoked to actually have the full range of Heal Up Militia models, because they're really good for how cheap they are. They're amazing point defense pieces. I got some treasure chests and gates to paint up for Riot Quest for some games with Mike coming up, and then Destructotron 3000, the murder robot machine that kind of looks like Claptrap, as well as Weird Wendell and Flugwug the Filcher, who are the 2 characters that come with the Spawn Gate expansion. I like that there's characters in the Spawn Gate expansion too, because it encourages you to get both. If you want the character, that's great. If you want the 3D terrain, that's great. And I love Riot Quest. I love the neoprene mat it comes with, but I do like the idea of 3D terrain kind of making it a little more immersive and stuff too. I got some stuff coming up for my protectors. I got my Pterodax and Nova ESR, as well as some exo armors, these cool little armor suits, and the flying pterodactyls and the bellowers for the dinos. So my dinos and my guard are pretty much complete at this point when I get these painted, and we'll be playing some more Monster Apocalypse 2. I actually have the new neoprene mat as well to show off, which is going to be great. And then some more stuff for my destroyers, Zaxor and the Scorchers and Exterminatrix, to go along with my Demos 9 for my my destroyer stuff. I'm pretty stoked for some new baddies. I want to get into the baddies after I finish off my good guys and start throwing down some more MonPoc, because we haven't played it in a while. Chase has been painting, and he says it's coming along, and he wants to come back in and play. So you'll see some of that soon.
All right, so we got another on the paint table done and on the books. Yeah, I'm gonna commit. I want to try and paint 10 models next week. I want to get at least test models done for my Slaves to Darkness, so a Chaos Warrior, a Knight, maybe do a hero, and kind of start just plugging away at that. I also need to get some stuff done for Kings of War 3, because I got some games with Chase coming at the beginning of February. He's finished up his goblins, and he's super jazzed to play, and so am I. I'm going to use my ogres, I think, to springboard into my Northern Alliance, which means rebasing all my ogres on new bases. The stuff I used for their bases for Kings of War 2 is all warped. It's bent up, and I think it's because I used an epoxy sculpt to texture all the bases, and it's pulled the base up slowly. So I had my buddy Derek cut me some bases, and him and his boys, shout out to his boys, they've got me basically set out now to go and multi-base everything, and that means I can start planoing the project. And if I rebase my ogres, I have to paint new giants, because my old Reaper Fire Giants are too small for new giants, which means I'll be painting the new Kings of War Giants, who are huge and super cool, to go with that, and then I can kind of use that to springboard into, with the giants and stuff, springboard into painting my trolls and all my other stuff, my Northern Alliance. And kind of work through into that new army too. So lots of stuff coming up. I do want to get at least 10 models done next week, because I'm it's just, there's so much going on that I'm super distracted, and things are not getting done at the usual pace, but it's just the new year and way too many projects and pans in the fire. So I'll see you next week for more On the Paint Table. Until next time, Ash. Thanks for watching and happy working. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course I will continue doing it as long as I can.